He'll get pulled over. He might try all kinds of excuses. For one man, it wouldn't be a lie to say, sorry, officer, my speedometer's stuck. So what can you do to fix it now?
All right, that's one of 3 questions loaded today. We'll make sure you know how to get your questions to us before this visit is up.
Always happy to welcome this one right here, Amanda Fink Shaeffer from Certified Transmission. Good to see you, Amanda.
Good to see you. And so cool, you are here right after Midwest Heart Connection because you'll be at their event on Saturday night.
Yeah, my daughter Josie, that's a year and a half, has a congenital heart defect. And so she's had 2 open heart surgeries and cardiologist here in Omaha and stuff like that. So she does great. But yeah, great organization. Super excited to go. This is our first time going to their event.
Right, now you guys, you've been through a long journey too.
Yeah, yep. She's been in the hospital for a total of almost 70 days in her life. So yeah, it's good to have groups and organizations like that out there for, especially the parents. Sometimes I feel like we need more support than the kids.
Well, to understand what's going to happen here, what's
next. It can be scary, so it's awesome they do stuff like that.
All right, let's get to these questions. This first one comes from Jan. Jan asks, do I need to make sure my gas tank is at least a quarter full in freezing weather, or is that no longer true?
I am probably the worst person at this. I'm not gonna lie.
I am too.
I know. I actually ran out of gas. Like,
did you really?
Yes. It was I don't even want to talk about it. It was so embarrassing. But then I just told everybody about it.
You know, your dad says if you get to a quarter, fill up.
Yes.
Isn't it a quarter?
Yes.
Is that what he said?
Well, and especially the summer and winter don't matter so much, like in terms of for your fuel pump and system and everything like that. But in the winter, it's smart because in case you get stuck, it's cold out. You know, something happens to your car, you run out of gas, and it's like you don't want to be stuck somewhere and it's freezing and your kids in the car and stuff. And just for your fuel pump, you want to keep it at a quarter tank because then it keeps it a lot cooler and it's surrounded in gas.
So it really is about functionality. It's not just a good practice in case something goes wrong.
There is a reason to fill up at a quarter tank.
But listen, I've had mine on E sitting in my driveway when it's like 0 degrees out. It started up. So, I mean,
were you the lucky one? Right.
It's not great for it, but I've done it.
Yeah, I know it's bad. I'm like, I'm hoping I can get to the gas station right now.
So here's what we say to our viewer who wrote in. Yes is the answer, but we get it if you don't always.
Yeah, try and stay on top of it. It'll save you a lot of money.
Do as we say, not as we do.
Sure, yeah, exactly.
Sally writes in now, and I think this is a longer question, so hang in there with us. Sometimes my 2002 Durango starts up right away, no problem, but especially when it sits overnight and I go to start it in the morning, it doesn't start unless I move the gear shifter back and forth several times. Eventually, it just starts. Something is wrong where the car is not recognizing it's in park and it's okay to start. Some kind of sensor, or is it the gear shifter lever?
This is a perfect thing for one of my shops to look at. On these Durangos, there's 2 different engine sizes. So there's a couple of different transmissions that are in there. It is most likely probably the range sensor that's not recognizing what gear it's in. And that can be bad if it gets to the point where it doesn't know it's in drive, because then it can cause issues shifting and cause bigger problems. The issue with this range sensor is on one of the transmissions, it's external, so that's a pretty easy fix. I mean, probably still a couple $100 for the part and an hour of labor and stuff, but the other one, depending on which transmission she has in there, is actually internal inside the transmission behind the valve body. So that's a little bit more labor, but can also possibly be done, you know, at cheaper than, hopefully, you know, not gonna need a whole new transmission or anything like that. So get it at one of our shops, $40 to check it out, and we should be able to figure out exactly pinpointing how much it'll be and how long it would take and stuff. So.
And you've got 5 shops around, so odds are there's
lots of options.
Nearby.
All right, let's get to this final question. This is the guy who had a problem with the speedometer, his excuse for the police, right? Well, it's from Jerry, and he says, my 2005 Chevrolet Impala has problems with the speedometer sticking. The car only has 92,500 miles on it. Is there a way to fix it, or does the part just need to be replaced?
This is actually a fairly common problem for these GM vehicles right in this year range. Not something that we do at our shops because it's probably something up in the dash. There's a thing in there called a stepper motor that's probably causing the issue. Again, hopefully not anything major. It's a fairly common problem, so a lot of shops are probably going to be familiar with it. But yeah, it's pretty commonly known that could happen. So take it to a general repair facility. If you don't have a good one, people are always more than welcome to call our shops and see who we recommend to use, because we do business with tons of repair shops, and you want to make sure you're going to someone that's a fair price, honest, been in business a long time, does proper training and all that stuff.
Stands behind their work.
Yep, exactly.
And we want to say Jerry has not been pulled over. We were just guessing that if he did get pulled over, and then he said, my speedometer keeps sticking, officer.
That might work for me and Mary, but I don't know with these guys.
You would say that, though. My speedometer is stuck.
It's
Sorry.
like this. You know what? I've never tried to use an excuse. I'm always like, yep, Sure was.
Yeah.
Ma'am, did you know you were speeding? I was in a hurry.
Yeah.
Like I never tried to
I'm
get
always
out of
running late. Of course I was speeding.
What about you? You've never tried to use an excuse,
They wouldn't
probably.
listen to me. They would just give me a ticket.
You know, back to the point that you were making, though, when you recommend another shop for something that you don't specialize in, your motto is job done right at the right price. How do you live that out day to day at Certified Transmission? What does that look like in practice?
We just really, I mean, honestly, it goes back to the culture of a business, to be honest. I mean, the way that my dad has operated the company is that he follows the golden rule. He wants to treat people the way he wants to be treated. You know, even our checkouts that are $40, you go to a dealership, you go to most places, it's $100. I mean, that's a lot of money to even just know what's wrong with your car. So we just try and be as fair and honest with people as possible and stand behind your work. I mean, those are the biggest things. People, obviously we know you got to put money into your car, but you want to make sure that it's going to be done quick and at the right price, and that we're going to stand behind the work that we do.
Yeah, you specialize in transmissions, but that's not all you do. So what other services do you provide?
Mostly just all the drivetrain stuff. So transmissions, any four-wheel drive issues. So all the snow we're about to get, if you're having an issue with your
lot
four-wheel
of those
drive or
trucks in
something,
there.
then give us a call. I mean, clutches, manuals, we do service all of those items and stuff too. But I mean, we don't really get into much of the general repair stuff at all.
Okay,
We'd
so
like to stay specialized.
Let's talk about prevention. If you get stuck up in a bank or something somewhere and you start trying to rock your car and
With the
you've
snow
got your
coming,
foot
yeah.
on the gas pedal.
Just be careful. Yeah, because that really is what overheats your transmission. And I mean, especially if you haven't had it serviced in a long time and the fluid's kind of old and dirty and not really properly doing its job, you can really cause some damage doing that. So take it easy and give your car a second to cool back down and stuff, and get the shovels out and get the big strong guys to come help you. And
Well, Peter Fink says he sees a lot of transmissions coming in the shop. When you put it in drive to get, if you're stuck, put it in drive, then
Throw it
pop it
in
in
reverse.
reverse. And
Yeah.
go back and forth and rock it back and forth.
Well, 5 area locations in case you're not listening now and you end up needing a new transmission, you need service done, or maybe you're like our second viewer today, you're already experiencing some issues, you want to get it in, get it looked at. So 5 locations, you can make appointments online at omaha.certifiedtransmission.com, and they're on Facebook too. Amanda throws some videos and stuff up there every now and then just to kind of keep Omaha, keeps all in the loop. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Amanda.
Thank
Good
you.
to
Good to
see
see
you.
you.
And your question